Welcome to our All Together Passage series, a daily vlog taking you with us on our maiden voyage from France to Miami. We're on leg one to the Canaries. Let's do this.
Always remember, it's not the wind, it's the water that dictates how the sailing is going to be. It could be 40 knots of wind in flat water, that would be no issue, or the waves behind you. But when you get these short waves and the bad sea state, that's the limitation for the crew. The boat is doing awesome. I went up the mast yesterday, definitely thinking that things would have moved, because that was a real shakedown. And credit to Outre-mer, to Agrément, to Lorima, to everybody who's worked on this boat, because nothing has moved. I haven't found anything. And the little shifter handle, we broke it. So it's not even a boat issue, just got attached to a jacket, and then that's how it got ripped. So that's pretty good after 3 days of boat breaking waves, to find no issues and no need to stop in Gibraltar for repair. And we are now headed to the Canaries, and hopefully when we get there we just can take a break from boat stuff and start enjoying the cruising life. And right now it's awesome.
The first job in the morning is we accidentally tore a hole in our A2. It got caught on the cleat. So, because I'm a hack, I attached a sock to the cleat. My hack here, a stuffed sock tied with a sail tie. Dolphins!
Right kind?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. How lucky is that?
Oh!
How lucky is that? I just have my camera up here. There's so many.
Yeah!
Yay! What a beautiful way to start a morning. Oh my gosh, love them. Hey guys. What a great way to start the morning. After our whole situation on our sail. I don't know if you can see it. Dolphins, honey. It's your animal spirit. Got our sunscreen on and busted out the shorts. So got the right clothes on for the temperature. It's beautiful. It's gonna be hot, I would say today. Not blazing hot, but maybe close to 80 Fahrenheit, I would imagine. It's a nice little breeze. And just having the breakfast of champions here. This is the breakfast this morning. Prunes are always good to have on board. So our hack didn't really work.
No. No.
You want to show it real quick? Oh, man. Okay, so how was the sail last night?
So it was late, but in the evening we were like doing 9-10-ish. That was good. And then when we were getting 11-12, the boat just like sounds differently and you know, it glides. But 9-10 was good.
9-10 boat speed or 9-10 wind?
Wind,
Okay.
true wind. And so all this was fun and good.
We had the A2 up, so the
A2 full
asymmetrical
main.
all night. Yeah.
The leaving Gibraltar, there's a lot of traffic of boats coming in to Gibraltar from the south and coming out. So we had to extract ourselves from that area. So that was a bit challenging at times because you have multiple tankers and ships coming with slightly different angles and you're being squeezed in between and you are on the sail. And you have limited maneuverability and you try to call them and they don't bother to respond until one of them was like at our beam. So, okay, great, thank you for responding now. It would have been nicer to respond, you know, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a little a pain, but now we extracted ourselves from that. We're further west of it, which means we're also further west from any fishing activity. So right now, as you can see, there is nobody. So
nobody and blue as far as the eye can see.
And you probably don't see in the video, but you have this
swell.
nice gentle swell lifting us up and down. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's good. However, we lost our wind. Now we're more in the 4-5 knots. So this is not so great.
But we had 5 knots and 5.3 knots of wind, and we were going 3 knots boat speed. I mean, it's gone below that.
Yeah, I mean, but with the swell and also what happens is it was very humid all night, so the boat is wet and the spinnaker is wet, so it gets heavier. And so it doesn't fly as well. So the only way is to just wait for the sun to let it dry, try to shake it a little bit, but you know, there's not much you can do. You have to wait for it to dry. Then it gets lighter again and it can fly better. But in the morning, it's if there's humidity, that's a little difficult.
Yeah. And then maybe you can describe what happened with the A2.
The Outremer 52, we have cleats forward, which it's like anything on a boat. Any decision you make, it's plus and minuses. So the big plus is when you need to dock somewhere. Oh no, that's a bird. Yeah, when you need to dock somewhere. So the cleat is far forward, and that's useful. If you need to attach a fender, it's also useful. For the spinnaker, then we have a low friction ring that we can put here and put a line through. So that's the design. The counter of that is you have this pointy end right there, and when you have a big asymmetrical spinnaker, especially like if it gets light or if it gets the spinnaker is wet and becomes heavy and things collapse, then this cleat just wants to poke a hole in the spinnaker. So that's what happened. It's not a big one, so we can put tape and fix it and get to the canter and fly it again. And but we're going to need a solution to prevent this in the future. So this sail apparently is some protective things that you put on one side and on each side that will prevent this. And the problem is what's online is for up to one that is 300 millimeters, but ours is 350 millimeters. So I'm checking with the company if that would work. So that's one of the drawbacks, and that's something we're going to have to every time we sail. Well, only the A2, the others will be fine. The symmetrical spinnaker will be fine, but for the A2, we'll have to put this protection.
Yeah.
We're going to try to find the wind and go put the spinnaker, put the symmetrical spinnaker back up and sail again.
Yeah. The other thing we're doing today is we're contacting ZF ZF, who makes the controllers for our gear shifter that popped off. And we're trying to figure out how to get a replacement part once we get to the Canaries, and how to swap it. So that's one thing we're figuring out. In some of the documentation, and this is just in general, you get documentation that you tried to call or email and it's outdated, or it's a failed email box. So we've been calling around using Skype. I highly recommend getting a Skype number if you travel internationally, just to make.
And Starlink.
With Starlink, yeah, you can make landline calls. So that's positive. So we use the Skype number, and so we'll be doing that. We'll be repairing the sail, and what else? Oh, are we going to do like a sand ceremony? I think it might be time to get rid of the sand.
I think it's time to do this.
Yeah. So we're gonna give a blessing to the sea and provide the sand back to the ocean that we had on board to repel any orcas if they came. We haven't had any. And so we're feeling a little bit better about providing that back to Neptune. Okay.
So, are we officially doing a ceremony?
We're officially doing it. You good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay. We're giving an offering to Neptune.
Yes. It has never been offered.
We're providing back this sun to nature.
Yeah.
That we borrowed temporarily.
Yeah.
To make sure, to make us feel good.
Yeah.
Making sure the orcas were busy somewhere else.
Yes.
Feeding, playing, and doing some other things, and giving a break to the boats crossing in the Straits of Gibraltar. I'll let Jean-Marc provide some.
Yep.
What words do you have to offer to Neptune?
Thank you, gratitude, humility, honor, and respect, I think, is what you need to have for the ocean. Look at us. What do we got going on here?
What do you call this? When you do, when you're a kid and you do
arts and crafts. It's a little art project. So what's most important to just make sure it's flat?
To make sure nobody is bothering us while we're doing it.
But I'm trying to put together an educational moment here. Stephane's grouchy today because his sail ripped. So that's the way it is.
Now the other side.
No, it's a racing stripe.
It's a racing stripe.
It's black.
Ah.
And it's a marker so that we can tune better
The sails.
Yeah, the sails.
Like the chevrons.
Yeah.
It's complementary. Exactly.
Hugues and Fabien check our work. Let us know if what we can do better. So yeah, we have this. The other side is taped, and now we're going to apply tape. So if it's thumbs up or thumbs up or thumbs down. The other way around.
Thumbs up, yeah.
I'm tired. I need a nap.
Yeah. You do need a nap and a cookie. You need a cookie.
Yeah, too.
Maybe some M&Ms.
So oh yeah, M&Ms. Bring it on.
So I have 2 tips for today. I'm going to try to do 2 useful tips in every video going forward. Got a couple requests for some of those. So the first tip for today is get a label maker. There's all kinds of stuff on the boat and very minute, detailed things on the boat that at some point you're going to want to find out where it is. And even though the boat is small, digging around for stuff can be complicated and frustrating. So I kind of go crazy with the label maker and group things in like logical places to put them. So we have a multi-use room on this boat. So we have storage and the ability to put boxes and also contain things in the closet. So what I try to do is put everything in logical categories. And so for example, this box here is everything tape. This is the label maker, by the way. Having one with a keyboard is useful because you type a lot of things. So in this box with tape, it's all different kinds of tapes. There's a bunch of them out, like duct tape, electrical tape, cell repair tape, things like that. Anything that is tape related goes in one place. This is an example of the Ropeworks splicing and Dyneema box. So everything for any small ropes, Dyneema, cell repair. We've used that today, obviously. Here's a box that's marked electronics and beacons. So anything related to B&G, anything related to the Iridium Go, the AIS, all of that is in this box. I've also, so you can see, like, I've kind of created boxes for things that go in obvious spots. But then I've also bought a bunch of these pouches from Amazon. And in these pouches, for example, this is a good example, is flags. So there's a pouch for flags. What's this one? Oh, this is a pouch for our stand-up paddleboard, like the repair kit, the documentation. What's this one? Oh, this is for the Nardi compressor. So the information on that, and there's a little spare part here. So all of those kind of go in pouches where you can easily kind of get through them. While it looks kind of disorganized still in here, we're making progress and everything has a place. And also doing this helps you familiarize yourself with all of the stuff that you have. When you get a new boat, you can get a lot of stuff all at once and not know where anything is. So highly recommend a label maker and get extra tapes before you leave because you will use them. I've already burned through 1 or 2 cartridges there. Even on the big boxes that we store underneath the bed, so you can label things outside the box. So when you're looking for items, you know what's in the box that you're grabbing. And the cool thing about a label maker is you can just add a label. So you put something in there, you add a label. And so it's easy to find things there. So definitely would recommend that. The second tip has to do with controlling moisture on the boat. There's a lot of moisture, and we're not even anywhere tropical. So I'm sure there's better systems. The ones that I could find were the tablets that you put in these cartridges, and I'll show you an example. So they have these little tablets that you put in the top. They look like big pieces of aspirin, and then it kind of pulls the moisture into the bucket. I put one of those in each of the closets. Again, I'm sure there's other systems, other places, but I put one in each of the closet and they fill up really fast. But the most important thing is to have some kind of moisture control system and lots of like extras. So before I left, I got 2 big boxes of those tablets so I could replace them. The other thing that you can buy are these little things that go in your closet, and they suck up the moisture in a little bag. I've never seen this kind before, but I've seen similar ones. And I put kind of one on each end. Yeah, and you can see this one's more full. So there's just a lot of moisture in the boat in general, and you know, having that all over your clothes and stuff is kind of gross. The other thing I do is I do put my clothes in sealed boxes. This is probably the best example. So for example, all my socks go in a box and I close it with the lid. So the moisture stays out hopefully, of the clothing there. And then same for my clothes. I have big boxes that I put things in, and I use a lid. The same is true as well for your computer. So when I'm not using my computer, it goes in a computer case, and I seal it. So those are my top 2 tips for today. Looks like we're putting it back up.
Ready? Go!
So we have 2 lines on each side attached, and Stephane's going to explain what they're for.
So when you fly big spinnakers going downwind, the bigger risk is you get a wrap around the head stay. So that could be user error. It could be the autopilot goes in weird direction, then suddenly, like with the wind, it furls and it swirls and basically wraps itself around the headstay. So you have ways with the mainsail to jibe and counter the winds, and eventually it will kind of undo itself. So that's one way to do it. Usually in your racing you do this. But if you're cruising, you try to prevent from the first place to have it happen, and also you want to sail those big spinnakers at night, and of course at night you increase the risk of making mistakes. So you can either have some kind of a net in this triangle. French people call it the Belgium jib, but we came up with agrément with a different design, simpler, and so we call it the Marwen because it's Marco and Awen. So we're using, as the halyard, we're using the staysail halyard, and then we have 2 lines going basically at an angle with the loop and the shock cord. So if the sail comes against it, then it will just kind of bounce gently, and that's it. So basically you have a kind of a pyramid with 3 sides, I don't know what the name is, between this line, the headstay, and this other one. And so that's our insurance policy.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see it, but it's sure that I will test it. I'm sure I will be the main product tester for that. So
ultimately it was to make sure to give insurance to Holly that yes, it's safe to fly those big sails at night.
Yeah.
So now you have a sense of security, safety.
Risk management. And there's our new racing stripe. It kind of matches the chevrons. Sort of looks like it was supposed to be there from a distance. And we're sailing. We turned the motors off.
Okay, our wind is back. We just, after a little repair on the A2, we just put it back up. It's flying. You might see the little black racing stripe at the bottom where the click took a chunk of it. And now we have about 10 knots of wind coming from north-northeast, 22 true. At the moment we're sailing along boat speed 7-8 with a true in angle about 145 average.